You remember demo discs? Like the little sample discs that used to come with old video game consoles? Or better than that, compilation games where they would just throw a bunch of games all onto one disc and you would just have your pick of the litter. Yeah, when I had a Dreamcast, the first one I remember having was like the Sega Smash Pack, right? Me and my cousin played Alter Beast like all the time. I beat that game more times than I can count. Still hate it though. Golden Axe, never beat that, but that one was really fun. Phantasy Star 2 was like one of the first JRPGs that I clearly remember playing, and I hated it because it was so fucking slow. But then there was also games like Streets of Rage, which I went so hard into. I love Streets of Rage, right? Virtual Cop 2, me and my cousin beat that one back to back times, always trying to see how we could get a higher score. And then there was also Shining Force. Now, what do I say about Shining Force? At least according to Wikipedia, this was the one that really set the tone for what tactics RPGs could really do in America. Tactics RPGs, your Fire Emblem, your Disgaea, it's like chess, but your chess pieces can do all kinds of things, and also they cute anime girls or something, you know what I mean? So, anyway, it wasn't Fire Emblem that set the standard back in the day. It was Shining Force, because Shining Force and Fire Emblem, they used to be on some rivalry type things. But you don't hear nothing about Shining Force no more. Fire Emblem got everybody just hooked. If you trying to talk about a strategy RPG, a tactics RPG, you on that Fire Emblem tip, G, if it's not XCOM, of course. But what happened to Shining Force is what I'm stressing. Because Shining Force had everything, you want your elves, you want your dwarves, you want your hero with a sword of light, you want to fight the forces of darkness, you want to fight some robots. Oh yeah, because Shining Force also had robots in there. It had zombies, ghoulies, ghosts, robots, fox people. They was going crazy in there, right? It was like D&D for real, right? But then I gotta stress the question again. So what happened, bro? Like, why did Shining Force fall off like that? Now, I don't have an answer for you. That's not what I seek to do with this video. I just want to yap about one of the games that I love playing that really got me into SRPGs, because everything about Shining Force was so good at like hooking someone like me. Vibrant colors, funny characters, cute characters too. Like, all of the character designs are just perfectly appealing in that cutesy way. Aside from the bird people. The bird people looked weird to me. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't like the cut of their jibs. But Xylo, who was like this wolf dude, he looked cool. And then you had, oh my god, what was his name? It was like, I used to call him Spaghetti. You had the little fish guy. He was like a little squishy who could just go all across the map because he could fly, and he could also shoot ice and stuff. It was so cool. I remember also liking the robot, but the robot was trash, and also the dragon you get was trash. Like, you had to spend so much time level grinding them, and they didn't even turn out to be good. It was ridiculous, right? Also, back when I was a kid, if you told me, oh, you got to keep this guy alive or it's game over, I would just not use that guy. So then I got to like near the end of the game, and I couldn't do anything because my main character was so fucking weak. Woo! It was so fucking funny to me. But that was a lesson learned type thing. I didn't actually beat Shining Force until I want to say earlier this year, because every time I got close to beating it, I either got distracted by something else or I got bored. But I don't think that Shining Force is a boring game. I just think that the way that I play games was not conducive for Shining Force until I could play it on my 3DS. Until I could play it mobily. And once I was able to play around with it a little bit more, and I was able to, really sink my fangs into it, I beat it pretty easily. Like, it was not like a very hard game once you know how to, play games, and you're not like a little baby who's like, I want to make this character strong. So, I just have so much joy talking about Shining Force, because like, it's one of those true games for me that was just nostalgic bliss. Like, I remember the first time I played it and being like absolutely overwhelmed from the sound design, from the character design. I was hooked with the narrative, even though it was like one of the generic, and then the forces of darkness came to take over the world. And I was like, yo, we gotta stop the forces of darkness. We gotta stop Dark Soul. We gotta stop him because he's evil. So, With Shining Force 2, I never got into it, and then with the Shining franchise, I legitimately like kind of put it into the back of my mind because I remember seeing a review for some game called like Shining Gaiden or Shining Forces, but it wasn't the strategy game that I knew. It was like a JRPG, and I was like, what's going on here? I didn't understand why it would do that. Shining as a franchise wasn't TRPGs, it was RPGs. They have like a crazy number of developers working on the Shining franchise. It's ridiculous. And the whole franchise was meant to be like traditionally RPGs, like it was going on a D&D tip, but if you're only there for strategy games, they kind of just dropped the ball on that. They just didn't really lock in. And I didn't understand why they didn't do that. But I don't want to go into like economics and, oh man, learning your consumers. All I'll say is Fire Emblem fell off for a little period, and it wasn't until Awakening that Fire Emblem really saw that success. But I don't know if Shining can actually do that. I don't know if like you could bring back like Shining Force on that same kind of energy. And that's a bummer though, because like Mario always gonna have to look over his shoulder for Sonic. Shut up, Sonic's still good. There's always gonna be like spaces for rivals, but it's just like nobody's rivaling Fire Emblem. It's like everybody's just kissed the ring type thing. And that's a bummer. But hey, what's your favorite RPGs? Let me know down in the comment section below. DUN, and I'm done yapping. Deuces.